What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the Legislative Director, talking about legislative things. Here she is, Legislative Director Amber Marr. With her, as always, not the Legislative Director, Jason Topsy. Amber, hi. We are getting into deadline time at the Indiana General Assembly, about to get to halftime, which means we're coming up, this week has been, or I guess this week, we're kind of wrapping up committees this week for the first half. So let's give an update on where a lot of legislation is that we're following and see where they are in the process. So thing number one, let's talk about it. It's a bill that everybody should know about now because we've talked about it several times in the show now.
Yes, House Bill 1116, which is virtual currency kiosks.
Yes.
We talked about this last week because it went through committee and it was amended. However, we tried to amend it. I say we. I'm not on the committee. The legislators did this in committee. They removed the part where Department of Financial Institutions could charge an additional $200 per kiosk on top of the licensure fee. We removed that.
You can say we. Look, you're working hard on this bill. I know you're not on the committee, but you're working hard on this.
Okay, we're just going to go with it.
We're just going with we.
We removed it because we did not want it to get recommitted to Ways and Means. So we thought we'll just put it back in later. We'll remove it from the bill now and then find another way to do it. Just to try to avoid, for time purposes, having to go through another committee. So it passed out of committee. It was great, and it got recommitted to Ways and Means.
They tried.
So thankfully, Representative McNamara sprung into action, and we were able to sort of not be as worried as we were at first. And Chairman Thompson, as well as Representative McNamara, came up with an amendment that they put in. It was heard yesterday in Ways and Means. And I'm going to try to find...
We're recording this on Thursday, so yesterday being Wednesday of this week.
Yes. They put in amendment number 313.
Look, there's 3 is in that number.
Bear with me here. Okay. Amendment number 1313. And this is what it did. It put back in that information for Department of Financial Institutions to be able to charge a fee per kiosk on top of the licensure fee. However, what I just said back in committee, it was going to be $200 per kiosk. What is amazing is they actually put it at $500 per kiosk.
Look, math isn't my strong suit, but I'm pretty sure 500 is more than 200.
Yes. And I think the reason why we really want DFI to be able to have someone specifically to go out and look at and make sure that these kiosks are following all of the safeguards for consumers.
Yep.
So that's really great. And let me see, there was one other piece that so in committee, the bill had passed out with a 15% cap on the fees. Remember, there's a transaction cap for new users and a transaction cap for existing users. And then there was a cap on the fees that they could charge per transaction.
Yes.
That was set at 15. In this amendment, they've set it at 10%,
that's awesome.
It's so good.
That's really great.
So we just wanted to say a huge shout out to all of the Ways and Means Committee members. We wanted to say thank you to Chairman Thompson. Thank you to Representative McNamara. It passed out as amended 22-0.
That's unanimous. Love to see it. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yep.
Well, good work on helping to make that happen. And hopefully we have some more exciting news that we're going to get into as we get into thing number 2.
Yes.
Which is touching base on some of this housing legislation that we've been kind of following, or at least one housing legislation.
Yes, we testified on House Bill 1001, which was Housing Matters. Let's see. That was in, why can I not? Local government. There were some amendments added, but none that really affected anything that we already supported. We really care about this bill because it deals with housing choice, aging in place, and talks about affordability, especially by authorizing accessory dwelling units. Now, I will say there is an opt-out portion in the bill, but we did want to give local communities a way to explain why they're opting out, so then at least folks in the community would know why you cannot build an ADU.
You got to show your work.
Yeah. However, we're really hoping that this is just an incremental step towards more support around ADUs.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of other things in this bill that we could go into, but I know that I think we talked about it last time. Just quickly, I'll say it also has pieces in it where it reduces parking and design mandates. That falls into our transportation and livability space. It also limits some fees and speeds up approvals, which assists with streamlining and predictability, all of which can lower development and operating costs, and expand age-friendly housing, which especially for older adults on limited incomes is very important.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
I was going to I was going to say something, but it's okay. I think that's it. Oh, it passed. That's what I was going to say. It passed 7-3.
Cool.
And is moving right along.
Now, little mixed bag on the next piece of legislation, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
What is this? Senate Bill 163?
Yes. This was the property tax matters.
Various property tax matters.
Okay. I need to pull something up really fast. Okay, so in this bill, there were two pieces that we were supporting. One was the affordable and workforce housing tax credit.
Yep.
That's still in there.
Cool.
Now, we supported this 5 years ago. This is just re-upping the amount of time it was going to sunset this year. This will help it continue.
Okay.
The second thing we supported was that there was a requirement for the Department of Local Government Finance.
Yes. DLGF, not to be confused with DFI from the previous bill.
Correct. They were going to have to develop and provide each county a user portal where community members could pay their property taxes monthly.
Which would be nice.
It would have been amazing. We support that very much. There are several counties in Indiana that do that on their own anyway and allow consumers to pay monthly, so they don't have to have those two huge chunks throughout the year. And I believe that DLGF did not think that they could do this in the amount of time that was in the bill. So they just asked, could they remove that and come back and talk about this next year? I wish we just would have extended the deadline for them to have these portals, but I think also they're probably going to need some money, so they probably just wanted to wait until next year, which is the budget cycle.
Year. Yeah.
So just know we are still very supportive of this issue, but it has been removed from the bill.
Bummer.
Yes. It passed 10-0 out of committee.
Okay.
So we're still going to be watching the affordable and workforce housing tax credit.
All right. We'll keep an eye on that.
Okay.
Thing number 3.
Yes.
We're talking, it's just, there are several pieces of legislation around medical debt.
Yes.
And there's like 4 or 5 or something like that. And we're not going to get into all of them.
Right.
But just a little touch on some of the bills that are moving in that space.
I think we just wanted to say we are going to come back to this. We might have to do an episode with just thing 1 and talk about the medical stuff.
Put a pin in it. Yeah.
Because I would like to have one of my colleagues that I work with explain this, because she's amazing and she's wanted to be on the show anyway. So,
look, we're here to make dreams come true.
So here's what I'll just do as a rundown. There have been multiple bills moving, lots of amendments that have put things in, taken things out, what have you, around these medical debt bills. However, I'm just going to list them. So we've got Senate Bill 85, Senate Bill 197, Senate Bill 225, House Bill 1271. Oh, and there's one more. Can you have it? Oh, House Bill 1335. Thank you. Okay. So I know that was very quick, but we will come back to all of these bills. They were all heard this week in various committees with various authors. Some kind of try to get at the same thing, but it just kind of seems like there's a little bit of a piece in every one of these bills, and we're just trying to figure out how they're all going to come together. So stay tuned. Just know medical debt is still alive. It's just that we're really trying to find the sweet spot.
Okay. Look, the fact that there's multiple pieces of legislation that are even moving on this
Yes.
is progress, and progress is not something we're gonna poo-poo around here.
Poo-poo.
Is that the first time I've said that on this show? It's weird. Almost regretted saying it immediately.
Hey, gotta keep it spicy.
That's sure. Anywho, let's get into thing number 4. The last thing we're going to talk about, some of this is also familiar to you. First of all, we want to give a shout out to our friends from southwestern Indiana, EREP,
Yes.
the Evansville Regional Economic Partnership. Did I get that right? She's going to look that up. Anyway, our friends EREP, they had their day at the State House kind of thing where they were having meetings and whatnot. And we were, did I get that right?
Yeah.
Boom.
Evansville Regional Economic Partnership.
Love it. And they were here and they were just kind of hanging out. We hosted them in our conference room for them to have their meetings. And they had a couple of the secretaries that represent various agencies and whatnot
In the verticals
with Governor Braun. So that was good. And then they, we got to just hang out with some friends from southwestern Indiana yesterday for a little while. So, or on Wednesday.
So very successful day. Thank you.
Love having them.
We loved having you here. We loved being a part of your day. And shout out to Addison for letting us tag along. And thanks to Justin for always making sure that we were included. So
we appreciate you all. So yeah, that was great. The other thing is I don't know if you all are doing your homework. I don't think you are. So I'm going to remind you to go to action.aarp.org/IN crypto fraud and add your name to the petition to help us get this virtual currency kiosk legislation across the finish line where things are moving well on one side. We got a whole other side that we got to deal with. So we want to make sure we do that. And also take the time to go to our YouTube page to watch the video we have put together that has our friend Detective Van Cleve and Representative McNamara talking about these issues down in Evansville and just across the entire state and why we need to get this legislation passed. So that's your homework, your continued homework. I'm probably going to hammer that home every time we watch the show until that bill is passed and signed.
I was just going to say that
Amber's
next week.
Say something else.
No,
let's give everybody an update on what's happening next week.
Next week is
deadlines.
I was just going to make sure that I had it correct, but I can't find where it's at. But second and third readings are next week. And then we switch sides. All the House bills go to the Senate and all the Senate bills go to the House. And we start this process all over. All
over again.
Yes. So we need to make sure we get all of the bills that we need to be moving across the finish line, or we're going to have to find new homes.
That sounds exhausting.
Well,
so let's just get these things passed.
Yeah, we do have more updates on where things are though later.
Yeah, and in the second half we might be bringing up there's some potential utility legislation that we're gonna hit on that we haven't touched on yet. But we're gonna keep it rolling. So stay tuned.
Yep.
And we will keep on keeping on as we wrap up the first half next week and then get into the second half of what is an extremely fast short session.
The last day for third readings in the Senate is Thursday, as is the House. So third reading deadline, everything has to be out by Thursday.
Thursday, January 29th. Mark your calendars. If you want to, I guess, but you seem confused.
I read something wrong.
Okay.
Forget it.
That happens.
We're good. What I just said is correct.
Okay. That's all that matters. And I appreciate your hard work, Amber. I appreciate all of you. Anna behind the scenes, as always. For those of you that have already taken action, awesome. For those of you that haven't, shame on you, and do it now.
Shout out to Detective Van Cleve, who also watched Ways and Means Online. Thank you so much for being a part of this process with us, even if you can't always be here with us in person.
Look, Evansville's far away, but that's all right. We'll see you soon.
Yes.
And speaking of seeing everybody soon, we will see you next time on The Legislative Director, talk about legislative things. Till then.